All right, guys, what's going on, YouTube? Welcome to Sunday Night Charts with Jim of All Trades. Good to see you. Hope you're doing well. My name's Jim. I'm a crypto trader and a Forex trader, here to help you understand the market from an Elliott wave perspective. Hope you guys are doing okay, guys. The Bitcoin chart's looking pretty interesting. I'm going to talk about the implications of the wave structure that we're seeing. Guys, I'm a wave structure analyst. I look at the market from a wave structure analysis here on YouTube. I look at it all kinds of ways, but one of the main ways I analyze the market from a wave structure perspective. And what I do on Sunday nights is we go over the wave structure that we're seeing, talk about the implications of where what shapes on the chart might be created, price going up or down based upon wave structure. We also look at the macro geopolitical landscape and try to understand what might be happening in this world. Guys, don't forget, this is financial advice. I'd never give you financial advice. I'm not here to do that. Just here to show you what I'm seeing in the charts. Just a guy here in Missouri, living in the state of misery here, guys, and showing you what I'm seeing in the charts. Don't forget, please do your own research, and please make sure you know how to manage risk, guys, before you take any trades. That said, let me say hi to everybody that said hi to me. I am starting a little later tonight. We had some guests over, and I know it's 10 o'clock Eastern time. It's 9 o'clock Central, but yeah, I had to start it a little later than normal. We'll try to get my schedule back running in the coming weeks, but bear with me, guys. We'll kind of get you the analysis as fast as possible tonight, and then I'll take your chart request, and we'll call it a night. Hope you guys are doing good. What's up, Keith? Good to see you, buddy. Eddie Bo, hello, hello. How are you, bud? Seth, good to see you, bud. Love you, man. JQ, hey, man, good to see you. Moon Boy counts coming, Keith. They will. I'll give you some Moon Boy stuff and Bear Boy as well. But I'm more of a Bear Boy right now. But we'll talk about what the implications are looking like. John Foster Crypto. It's 9 p.m. in Memphis. Yeah. Let's see. Adrian, hey, buddy. You want a bearish count? Well, you'll get one tonight for sure. You always do. All right. We'll take those requests once I get the analysis to you, but let's jump into the analysis. All right, so I feel like I need to do the macro analysis here for you guys to understand. We are breaking structure at this very moment. We have broken with a candle, with this 4-hour candle, this current 4-hour candle. That doesn't mean it's going to go down forever now, but it's certainly starting. This could be a pretty volatile candle. Or the next one, there's any number of shapes that can be made. But right now, we do have a break of structure. When I say a break of structure, we have a break in the pattern here of support, diagonal support here. That doesn't mean it can't go up, and I think it's very likely that this candle could go up and do something just like that before coming down. So watch out for a move like that totally could play. So that would be what we call an expanded flat. And you get those all across the market. They're all over the place. You get a break of structure and then a retrace really quickly, take out traders really fast, and then later on it ends up going. So I want to just say that on the front end, watch out for that move. That's a very, very common market move. Doesn't mean it has to play this time. Doesn't mean it has to go. But certainly that is a real possibility on the 4-hour chart. That means over this 4-hour candle, it could wick back to the upside, or this could just start wicking a little bit, and then the next 4-hour candle be an engulfing candle, or it could take all night, could take several, whatever. It could go fast or slow. They do it different kinds of ways. Like here's an example of a real fast one, right? Where they broke a low, retraced, broke a low here, and then boom, took people out and then came down, right? Now, that's a very common move in the market. We know that the market likes to move in very, very overlapped ways. Now, it can also, once it starts going, it can start going fast and furious. So I don't know what the plan is, but that's a common thing that we see. I don't know if that's what we have in store, but I just want to share that with you, that's a common possibility. Be careful with that. Okay. All right. So let's start on the macro analysis. Let's move out to the weekly chart, and then we'll move into the other chart. So what am I seeing when I look at this? What do I see? As a wave structure analyst, I mean, what jumps out at me is we got a 5-wave structure that looks about finished. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I'm going to put 5 right there because I have a finished 5th wave count right here. You say, well, Jim, this made another high. Yeah, my assertion is that that's an expanded flat. You can't really see it on the weekly, but you go down to the 2-day, you'll see it a little bit better. That's an expanded flat off the top where you have 3 waves. This is at least one assertion that you have 3 waves down, and this is 3 waves to the upside, finished right there. And now we're going 5 waves to the downside. We are currently beginning a very large and fast impulse to the downside. This should be fast and furious 5 waves. That doesn't mean tonight. It doesn't mean everything's going to happen overnight. It just means that we should see this thing picking up some steam in 5 waves. My target zone, about 50K. That's my target zone. That doesn't mean it has to hit 50 or stop at 50. It can go a little deeper and it can stop a little more shallow, but that's my target area right there, that support zone right there. 50 to 60K is the range, right? It could be 40 to 60 if I give you a big zone. Okay. That zone right there, something like that. All right, so that's a possibility. This thing could be coming down. Now, is it going to happen overnight? No, it's not going to happen overnight. It's going to take a while. If this, number one, if this is taking place, then this count is going to take a while to develop. Okay, but nevertheless, that's on the table. What else could be happening here? What else? Well, this wave 2 might not be finished. Okay, in other words, we could be getting a more complex. Before I get there, this is my main macro idea right here. This is my main, that we're coming down impulsively. That's what I believe is going on. That's what I think could be happening right now. Am I certain that's happening? No, I'm not. But we're going to talk about what to look for if this is happening, what we expect to see from a wave structure standpoint. But this is kind of what I think. So with that in mind, that's my main count. It's my main way I'm looking at these waves. We finished right here. We're in the middle of a flat, and I want to see this flat finish out, and that's going to be 3 waves. Okay, so we have all kinds of time, to be honest with you. We got several more weeks of Sunday night charts before this, for this to play out. So I don't think that we're in any danger here of anything. So we can take some time here and just look at that wave. What we got going on. So what I'm thinking here is that this was the top of something. We got 5 waves, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, boom. And that this was an initial wave to the downside. And this was a 3-wave pullback. Now, the problem with that wave, what I don't like about it, is that it's a very, very ugly and, how do I say it, non-3-wave-ish looking shape. I don't like the shape of it. It's not my favorite. But nevertheless, it totally could be 3 waves. And in fact, there's a nice count. I just don't like the shape. But just because Jim Pierce doesn't like the shape doesn't mean it's not a 3-wave shape. Okay, let's count the waves really quickly. First off, we're going to see this as A, B, and C right there. Okay, that's your A wave. Okay, now you got a flat right here. Okay, come on, Jim, right there. Boom. I'm going to say that this is A, B, and that's C to there. That's your B wave or your X wave. Now what do you got? We're going to say that this is A, there's B, and that's C to this point, or you could say to this point. I don't like it there. I like it here. Okay, that makes more sense to me. Okay, so that looks like 3 waves. Say, what do you do with this? What's going on here? Well, it could be the beginning of a larger. So what we could have. I mean, okay, yeah, this could be a W wave right here, and now we've begun an X wave that's going to come back down here. Or I don't know how deep. It could be shallow. It could be deep. It could be an X wave. It could be a B wave. So it's a second wave to the downside that could take a bunch of different shapes, and then we'd expect another Y wave to the upside. That's one possibility. That means that this was the first wave of a much more complex wave to the upside, that this is going to finish to the downside, and then it's coming back up again in 3 more waves, more than likely, depending on how deep it goes. Now what you have to understand is how to apply Elliott. We're going to call it WXY if this X wave retraces less than 90% of the A wave. So if I pull the retrace fibs there, the 90% mark is the area we watch for if we're looking for what we call a flat. Okay, now I know a lot of you know Elliott wave, but some of you don't, so I'm trying to be as courteous to everybody as possible. So if this X wave ends up coming down 90%, we're going to rename it. Instead of X, we're going to call it an ABC. Okay, and we're going to look for a 3, 3, and then 5. Okay, and that would be a flat. Now this B wave could come, it could come 90%, or it could take out the origin of A. In other words, it can break the bottom here and then shoot up to the top. So in other words, what happens is this could work. This could work its way down here somehow in some shape, right? In 3 waves, right? Take this low and then go up fast and take that high. And that is a normal move we see on the market all over the place all the time, okay? That would be an expanded flat, okay, on the macro scale. And that could be a wave 2, okay? Now, it's impossible for you to know how this wave is going to end up playing if it plays at all. In other words, there's so many different corrections this could take. At the end of the day, we're looking for a 3-wave shape that's complex to the upside for a 2-wave. But it doesn't have to be complex, but usually wave 2 is. But if it's not, this might be all you get. That might be 2 right there. We did come to the 618 retrace, okay? So if this was the end right here, okay, which it could be. I'm not a big fan of that, but it could be. Then this is beginning the next stage down to the downside. So this could come down as deep as it wants to come with a retrace later on, right? It could take any number of shapes. But in other words, this could start coming down now. This could get a lot deeper tonight if it wants to, or into tomorrow, whatever. We could have a dumpy week. It doesn't have to do any retracing. In fact, that first idea that I shared on the front end of the live stream, that it might come up here first before it comes down. It doesn't have to do that. It could do that. That's a common move we see in the market. But, we'll know that pretty soon. Why? Because usually if it's going to do that, we're at the stage where we're at the stage right now where it wants to. In other words, we got to retrace this first wave. We're going to pull that fibs. It's sitting at the 618 retrace. Okay. So in other words, this is a common area for it to come down to on a retrace level, for it to come up as an expanded flat like that. And this would be a 3, 3, 5 expanded flat. Looking for it to get up to a retrace level of 60% of the initial wave to the downside. So something like this right here. So we would look for 50 or 60% retrace. So our target zone, if it wants to go back up there, our target zone would be somewhere around 116 to 117.9. 116.9 to 117K. That range right there, I've got marked off. So we would look for this liquidity to be taken out and then a retest of this high before it starts coming down again. That's a possible move. It doesn't have to happen, but often it does happen. Okay, and so that's a very common wave shape we see all the time. Okay, and on the macro, that's what I'm talking about. On the macro, you could get something like that on the macro. Go back out to the 4-hour chart. What am I saying? I'm saying that here's 3 waves. This wave could come down here in some shape, not just how I drew it, but in some shape, take out this low, boom, and then come up here. And then all of a sudden on the macro, you got the same idea. It's just liquidity grabbing, okay? We made a 3-wave shape, grab some liquidity, boom, head on down, grab some liquidity, boom, grab some liquidity. Okay, so that's a macro idea, right? But the idea I just gave you a minute ago, this is a more micro idea where this is a 15-minute chart where this might happen tonight, right? And come up here, watch for a move back down, right? So if this comes up here tonight, look for a short, maybe. That might be a trade setup. If that plays, that may not play. That may not, the wave structure may not even remotely do that, okay? It's just an idea for you from an LE wave standpoint. If this wants to start coming down, we pull back and then continue coming down like this, then we're definitely looking at this as, some kind of finished 3 waves, right? And, this could come up like that, right? That could be 3, okay? Which I think that's a real plausible idea as well. And where instead of giving any kind of relief here, we've broken structure and it just kind of keeps coming down, takes out a bunch of traders and then comes back up, makes 3 waves back to the upside. Boom, boom, and then 3 back up. And that would be another fantastic idea to play as well. And that would also be a 3-wave correction of this initial move. Either way, I mean, I could sit here and draw 20 different scenarios where this goes up 3 ways. I can't tell you what it's going to do. I don't know. But we want to watch how it develops, okay? And just realize that nothing generally, the markets don't go in straight lines. So if you're short, for instance, if you're short, maybe you shorted up in here, up in this range, and you're short and you're in profit, you're like, hey, this is fun, this is exciting. Well, I gave you one idea to say, hey, listen, if this starts coming up fast and furious and takes your position out, don't be too afraid. That doesn't mean you have to risk, you have to have your own thoughts about that, right? But don't be too afraid. Chances are it's because you just head on back down, right? If you're not in a position and it comes up here fast and furious, that might be an area to think about taking a short from an Elliott wave standpoint. That's just an idea for you. Now, if it doesn't happen, well, listen, if it doesn't happen, don't chase a trade way down here thinking, oh, I missed it all. Because just as soon as you chase a trade down here, this is your 3-wave count. And it's going to start just kind of going up slow and methodically, boom, and then take you out up here. In other words, the market likes to take you out. So you have to wait for the better positions to get inside the trade. So that's what trading is all about. So I'm not here to tell you how to trade. I'm here to show you the wave structures that are happening and encourage you to be patient for the setups so that when the setup plays out, you're ready for it. So that's what I do on Sunday night charts. I'm just showing you wave structures that I see, setups that could play, but they don't necessarily have to play, show you different ideas that might play out so that you're ready in case something does play. You're like, oh yeah, Jim talked about that, and that's an Elliott wave, and so you can't just take trades, okay? You can't just take trades based on just these ideas that I'm sharing. You have to understand Elliott wave theory in order to understand the best places to take those trades, okay? So not here to tell you to take a trade. I'm just showing you different trade ideas that could or might not play out and just different ways of looking at this. So there's going to be all kinds of areas. So if this starts going down fast and furious, watch out for this count right here, okay? In other words, this gets real deep if it goes down fast and furious on the 4-hour chart. Let me pull a fibs and get a potential target zone here. Okay, I'd say the 109 is a great target. I think 111, fantastic target. If it comes down fast and furious, okay? Those are fib levels, okay? The 2618 and the 3618. Right now we're sitting at the 1414 retrace, and that's a little shallow. But nevertheless, we do have a 5-wave shape. We do have 5 waves. It might be done 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So, one thing about it, this could be 3 waves right there, and that's finished. Okay, we'll talk about the bullish scenario later. So, if this doesn't come down fast and furious on the 4-hour chart, meaning over the next several 4-hour candles, I would say the next 5 to 10 4-hour candles, price doesn't get down here. But if it does get down here in the next 4 to 10 4-hour candles, then it's coming down pretty fast, right? That means in the next 40 hours or less, in the next 2 days, price gets down here kind of fast. If it does that, it's taking traders out, trapping traders that were here long, okay? But watch out, just as soon as you go short and let it go, it's just gonna start and kind of play around up here and then look corrective, then kind of work its way and take that top out. So watch out for that move, because that would be a WXY correction. I'd be looking for a short after that, if that plays. Keep in mind, guys, see all that price action I just drew? I mean, there's 2 to 3 weeks of price action right there. We've got time. We have time. So we're going to have another Sunday night charts, guys. We're going to have a chance to evaluate what's happening on the chart. So don't think any of this is going to happen overnight. It's not. It's not. Now, so theory number 1 on the small time frame micro analysis, if this starts coming down fast and furious, okay, and we get a continued dump tonight, which could happen. I think it's likely, but I don't know if it's certain, right? Then we're thinking of this as a flat on the macro, okay? I mean, I'll be thinking of this as a flat more than likely, something like that. That's the way I'll be thinking about it. If it doesn't go down fast and furious tonight into tomorrow, and maybe we get another pump tonight, maybe, so let's just say, hey, what if we get a pump? Instead of coming down, this kind of holds its ground. And maybe it comes down a little bit more, a couple more times, but it holds its ground pretty much, finds a bottom in this zone here, right? And start working its way up tonight. If that happens, watch out for this move right here. Okay? Which could be a flat. I would be looking for a short after that. Potentially. So if we start pumping tonight into that, then I'm thinking maybe a short. So there you go. We're ready for a long, we're ready for a short, right? So if you're looking to go short right now, it's a horrible entry. You don't have an entry. We'll say, Jim, what if it goes down like you said? If it goes down, the next, for me, unless it gives you some kind of entry, there is no entry here. There's nowhere. This is no place in my world, the way I trade. This is no place to enter short. To enter the trade short, you should not be jumping in short right now. Well, what if it keeps going down, Jim? Yeah, well, that's a gamble, number one. And number two, what happens when you chase trades, guys? What happens? What happens when you chase trades? Sorry, I'm just taking a peek at a chart here. The market will trap you and take all your money from you, okay? So you cannot chase trades. You can't chase. You have to be disciplined. And you have to wait. So, offered you a couple of trade ideas there, guys. A couple of trade ideas. What's going to happen? I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen. But the way I'm looking, there's a couple of ways to look at this. This could be the top of something, in that this is the beginning wave. It's going to finish, right? This is the beginning wave. And now you could get some kind of three-wave pullback. Now, if you don't get a fast and furious wave that takes this out, So if it goes up fast, I'm looking for a short. If it comes down, and then starts going up slow, pulls back, and then goes up slow, I'm waiting for three waves, then I'm looking for a short. Okay? If it just pulls back to the breakout and then continues down, pulls back, continues down, I'm looking for a long when this finishes. When it finds a bottom somewhere, I'm looking for a long to the upside. Three waves or bigger. Something that is similar to all this stuff to the upside. It's going to be choppy. It's going to be corrective. Okay, so that's the way I'm thinking about the trades, guys. And I'm ready. Understanding wave structure, I am now ready for whatever the market throws at me. Give me 1 second, guys. I need to get a drink here. Okay, I'm back. Thank you for hanging in there. How we doing, guys? That's a lot of information, and I went really fast. Was that too fast? Do we need a recap of that, or how we doing? Take a peek at XRP for a moment. Look at the wave structure. See what this might be doing here. All right, XRP. What's XRP wave structure doing? Now, XRP has broken to the downside, and it's broken some major structure here. So let's look at this wave. But it doesn't mean it's going down forever. but let's take a peek at it, okay? 4-hour chart, take a peek. Interesting wave that broke. When I draw a trend line right here, we broke it, retested the breakout, and continued down. Okay, so that's interesting. That's powerful. All right. Now, right now, this is a 3-wave shape. Okay, it's a perfect 3-wave shape. It's prime. Could start heading back up. It could go up in 3 waves like that, boom, matching something like this. Okay, or this could pull back and continue to the downside, right? It doesn't even have to pull back. This could pull back just a little bit and then continue down, pull down. This could start getting deep and fast, something like that, right? Then you could totally see that working out, couldn't you? So it's a real chance here, guys, that this is broken and we're very bearish. Okay, so Bitcoin has broken as well, 4-hour chart. We have broken structure. This is very bearish. Unless we get a pullback back into structure and a close. This is a very bearish chart. All right. Now, a lot of times you get very bearish charts, you get very bullish takeouts. In other words, you'll see this thing get taken out really fast and then continue down. That happens on the small time frame all the time. And you can see right here, where that kind of stuff happens, where you get real deep pullbacks and then continuations down, right? Deep pullback, continuation down. So I think it's reasonable to consider that we could get something deep and fast back to the upside before down. It doesn't mean it's definitely going to happen. I'm just simply offering that as a possibility, right? That's reasonable. But if this thing wants to get fast and furious tonight and take a bunch of traders out by going deeper and really fast, it can do that before. And it could take traders out, boom, come and take that low, and then wick all the way back up, something like that. I mean, that kind of crap happens as well. Okay, so this would be nasty as well, and that's possible. Okay, so understand, it just depends on where the liquidity is, right? Depends on where the liquidity is and how the market wants to move it there, how to take traders out. We do know that FOMC came this past week, right? And they raised rates. And that's supposed to be bullish for the markets. That's supposed to be bullish, right? But what have we gotten ever since FOMC? Everybody says, oh, they raised rates. So, they lowered rates. I'm sorry. I misspoke. They lowered rates. So, it's bullish for the markets. But it's very, very normal and common for them to do the very opposite thing first, so that they could get, and the markets will go back up, right? Generally speaking, they can go back up. They could go back up very quickly, right? But it's going to take out anybody that was going long here off of news. It'll take them out first, right? So a lot of times the markets will will take out traders before they let you trade. So you got to understand, they got to take you out of the trade or do a counterintuitive move so that they can, hurt you. So that's very common. We're used to that. And I usually counter trade news like that, very much like that. Whatever everybody's expecting to happen and whatever anybody anticipates the market to do in anticipation of that, I'm usually thinking the very opposite, for the days of the news. And then, after that, once the market's doing what it's doing, then I'm looking for the opposite trade. I'm looking for the what everybody expected. Remember, here's a principle. The market often goes where you expect it to go, just not in the way that you expect it. That's a normal principle. We operate by that very, very often. We got to know that the market will go where you want it to go. So I know a lot of you are looking for 150K. A lot of you are looking for 200K. You're thinking Bitcoin needs to get up there and go, right? Guys, it's going to go there. It's going to get there. My assertion is that it's gonna take you out first. Okay, it's gonna go there in a way that you don't expect. There's gonna be some black swan. There's gonna be something, and the markets are gonna dump and take you out first. Probably a hit to 50K first, and then you're gonna see a V-shaped recovery, and that's when you're gonna see the market boom and just start zooming. Okay, that's an assertion. That's a guess. I don't know if that's the way it's gonna play, but that's at least a possibility. It's the way the markets often do. you see big takeouts first, and then you see you see the market go where you expected. Okay, so just understand that those things are really possible. Okay, so XRP is looking down. This is bearish. That doesn't mean though that this, you can't see. We got an hour and a half till the 4-hour close. So I want to see how this candle is going to close. If it continues to go deeper, then I'm not going to like that for a quick rebound. It doesn't mean it can't. It's just I'm not going to love it as far as the look is concerned. Usually the way it goes, I mean, but again, it could totally bounce back up, no problem. And in fact, it could bounce back up and take this high out if it wants to. Shoot. This could be a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and a 3-wave pullback, and now we're getting ready to get real bullish, right? So Jim Pierce might be, there is a bullish way to look at this chart. There's no doubt about it. This could totally be a bullish chart. We're going to talk about that in just a moment. But right now, we've got to consider that this is a very bearish chart with this break of structure, okay? We don't really get super bullish until this gets broken back to the upside first. Okay. All right. So with as far as Bitcoin's concerned, we're not going to get super bullish yet, and even if it breaks right there to the upside, this goes back to, we still not super bullish, but we can get a little bit bullish again. Because this is breaking structure to the upside. But keep in mind, this could break and then it could come right on back down. Not immediately and not in one motion or anything like that. Just understand that could take place. Okay, looks like we're getting a continuation of the dump here on the small time frame. Let me just take a peek on the small time frame wave structure for XRP here, and just take a peek at what we're doing. All right, let's look at Ethereum here as price. Ethereum is another one that's broken the structure as well. So this is a 1-hour chart. Let's go to the 4-hour. It's also broken the 4-hour too. 4-hour candle. This last 4-hour candle is breaking the structure pretty strong. Okay, so that's a strong break. Now we know, generally speaking, on the first candle that breaks, it's going to retest. Okay, so normally, if I were looking for a trade, I would be expecting this thing to retest that breakout at some point. Okay, to give you an example here, here's an example where you had. Here's a good example here. You had a break. You had a break on this candle. It continued down for a couple, but then it had a retest. But it ended up retesting before you see that pull back to there, right? So it broke, yes, but then it retests. So I don't expect this thing to keep going straight. I mean, it can do that, but normal patterns is when you get a break, probably several 4-hour candles, this is going to continue down, but then find its way back, retesting the breakout. It could keep going down. It could come back up here. There's all kinds of things it can do, right? But that's normal. But that's a bearish look, okay? But this is not the place to enter into a short trade. It's not a good position. So I'm not encouraging you to take a short. I'm just saying that this is bearish, guys. This is very bearish. Now, when do you get bullish again? Well, you get bullish again if this gets broken to the upside. So if this goes back to the upside and breaks that trend line there, you're going to start thinking, well, this is a little bit more bullish now, right? So for now, that's a very bearish look. Now, this could be the ending move of some kind of initial wave. You could be getting a 3-wave pullback that gets followed. So we could be in for a retreat. A retest of that nature, or this could pull back and continue to get This could start going down fast. I am a bearish guy. I've been bearish for quite a while on Bitcoin as we've been up here in $100,000 range. Okay. So wave structure to me is setting up for bearish move. Okay. So the fact that we're getting this break is it's been kind of expected, right? It's been kind of normal. It's been kind of, this is what I've been looking for. And so now we're getting a follow through on it. So I'm, feeling pretty good about that. So the question is, what kind of shenanigans are we going to see now? Okay. I think it's, I think of those ideas that I shared at the top of the live stream are ones to really consider watching. Okay. This is the first thing I'd be looking to see if it happens, something like this. I don't know that that's going to play. Something like that or something like this. But if this starts going deeper, which is possible, look for this maybe to just pull back like so and then continue down, pull so, and get real deep. And that is probably my number one idea. But I'm also, while we're in this current range right here, I'm watching out for that move right there. I want to see if that's going to play. Either way, I'm bearish for this wave. So if we come up here looking short, okay, if this pulls back and wants to roll back over looking short, okay. But if it comes up fast and furious and keeps rocking, I'm looking short up here. I have no way to know what's going to happen tonight, guys. I don't. I wish I could tell you. No, I don't think this is the bottom potentially. Yeah, potentially. This is. I mean, this could go. I wouldn't be taking a long right now. I'd only be looking for shorts. I'd let that long play. I'd let this play out, and then look to take the short. I mean, it's on the table as a possibility, but you don't just trade things blindly. Like, oh, I think this is going to happen. I don't know what's going to happen. I've offered you I've offered you a common wave structure that often plays out. Doesn't mean it has to play out here. I tell you, I start talking so much, my voice just gets shot. Right here is another play that could happen here. This you get a local flat here. You see this little 3-wave takeout at the bottom. You get a local flat, kind of goes up fast to that breakout, and then it rolls over and comes down. So that's another setup. So that could set you up for a short if you get that move. But who's to say you're going to get that move? You could. It might. These are just common things that the market does. And so on the 5-minute chart, I'd be watching for a chart, some kind of shape that looks like that, right? And then maybe take a short when it starts to fizzle, right? ready for a pullback and a continuation to go up and take out trades. See, this is just a dangerous area because right now there's all kinds of traders thinking, there's some traders looking for a long here, right? And so some traders are going long here, and then there's other guys who are looking for more short. So they entering short down here because they're late to the game, and it keeps kind of going down and going down. So they're looking to take a short. So they need to trap those traders and get some more longs taken here before so they can take you out. So this game is all about liquidity, and the way you guys need to navigate these trades, guys, is to make sure you're taking trades at the tops and the bottoms where the liquidity is. Okay, so we just broke out. This was a liquidity grab. They just took that bottom. This is a prime area for this to come back up. It doesn't mean it's going to, but if it does, this is where you want to take the short. You don't want to be shorting down here. You take the short up here. If you want to go long, this is an area to think about taking a long. Definitely down here is a better area to think about it, right? Because RSI in the 4 hours, very oversold, okay? 1 hour is very oversold. Okay, we're deep. 15 minute, it's pretty oversold. Okay, 5 minute, fairly oversold. It's kind of rebounded a little bit. So this is a better area to think about taking a long. That doesn't mean your long's going to play, right? Why? Because they could give you a move back to the upside here and just roll it over for another move. So you got to be ready for that. You got to be ready to stop that trade out, right? But this is a better area to think about long for me than it is thinking about short. Or Sunday night's all about trapping traders. Let Sunday night play out. Just let it play out tonight. Let it do its thing. Once you see one of the scenarios that I painted for you, okay? Once you see one of the scenarios play out, whether you get this scenario, okay, or this scenario, right? You can take the long down here. This is where you want to think about the long, right? It doesn't mean it's going to win. It just means that that's where you want to think about it, right? Do you want to take this long to here? I mean, it might play, it might not play, but that's a trap play. If it goes up here, it's going to go up here fast. Just wait for it and take the short. That's the better move, right? In my opinion, because you're going to get the continuation, right? So if this comes up here, you get the continuation down. It's a bigger play to the downside. My bias is down, overarching down. So you're waiting for the setup. You're waiting for it to give you a setup. So wait for it, would be my encouragement. Okay, so there it is, guys. That's where we are. We're pretty bearish. Let's talk about now what I like to do is once I go through what I think the market is probably doing, I like to look at the opposite side of the trade. I like to look and say, okay, what else could it be? What else could be happening? What else might be at play? Is there a bullish way to look at this wave? I make myself look for the opposite side of the trade. Why do I do that? Well, the reason I do that is to keep myself as unbiased as possible. While I do my very best to stay neutral, I'm not always neutral. Sometimes I get locked in on one perspective, right? Get locked in on one perspective, looking at the waves one way. What I try to do is say, okay, that's fine, that's dandy. Now let me look at the waves another way. Okay, so here's another way, okay? Another way you could look at these waves is that this was A, that was B, and this is C, and it's about finished. It might be a little bit more down, but it's about finished. That C wave is 5 waves. You got 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. And 5 may not be done, but it could be done, but it may have some more to do, but not much more. So if that's a finished flat, which could be, I offered already the idea that it could have to come down here. So in other words, that flat has a lot farther to go to maybe the 3618 or the 2618 extension. Okay, that means there's going to be pullback and continuation until we get to target zone down here. But what if it's finished and this is just a local flat? Well, that means we have a local correction. It's more bullish. Okay, in other words, We're not looking at this as a flat anymore. We're saying, okay, no, let's look at it this way. Got a little bit more down here maybe to finish, but we're looking for it to come up here to continue to start moving up. And if it starts doing that, then we're going to start looking at this as more of a 1-2. Okay, and this is much more bullish than I'm looking at this wave. Instead of correctively looking at that as 3 waves, I'm going to look at more bullish. Maybe we're getting ready to go up and take the high. Now, something else, here's something else. Again, if it's shallow, again, if this wave becomes shallow, then I'm looking for the high to get taken. If it gets a little deeper, I'm looking for the high to get taken, but not quickly. I'm looking for 3 waves, something like that, and then more downside. Okay? If this starts crashing to the downside, just continuing deeper, could be a pullback and a continuation down, right? But if it stays here and it wants to come take the high out fast, then I'm looking at this differently. Now, here's another way to look at it. If this happens, it could still be bearish. Here's the count that I see. 3 waves here, 3 waves there, 5 waves here. And that becomes a big flat. I'd still be looking for a potential short. Once this finished, I'd be looking for a potential short. Now, that may play. I don't know. And then in the final bullish analysis here, this could just go. And this becomes some kind of 1-2, 1-2. And here we go. And we're going to the moon. So which one? I don't know. But I recognize that this is a possibility. I don't want to just get locked into short. That's my brain cells. That's what I'm thinking. Because one thing that bothers me is that this right here, this move here, came right at the 618, but it's just, it doesn't, this wave doesn't look right to me. It just doesn't look like that's all there is. And you see how just we barely came into that zone, that 618 retrace, barely came into it. It's just not, this isn't a normal looking correction. I would not be surprised for this wave to start coming up like that, take out this level, and then come down. And that's another bullish look. And that's finishing this as some kind of flat. And that's a wave 2, and then boom. Here we go. So I don't see that as readily, but it's possible. The 4 hour is the 1 hour is oversold pretty strong. 4 hour, we're in oversold territory. I could totally see traders getting taken out here. Okay. Let's look at now. Looking at let's zoom out and look at Ethereum for a minute, because what I like to do now, I've already done a little bit of it, but I'm looking at correlation analysis, right? You say, okay, what could this be as far as correlation is concerned? Well, I mean, look what's going on here, guys. Very common move here. See this move down? Okay, it came back up. Boom, and it rolled over, hit this low here, and then came back up before it came down again. Okay, I think a common move here is we could see this move right there. So that little bullish move right there. Now this is the daily chart, right? So this would take several days to play out, maybe weeks to play out. That would reset this a little bit and give it a chance to come down again, and then we'd get an even deeper move. Now, what is going on with Ethereum? Because I'm a big believer in Ethereum, but what's happening on the weekly chart? What is this wave structure? What's going on? I don't know about you, but I don't know what to make of it. I don't know how to read this chart. Exactly. I'm not sure how to read this chart. I don't understand this wave. Now, if we get real bullish here, if this wants to just start going straight up, what we could have here. Now here's a real bullish count, guys. You want a moon boy count, Keith? Here it is. If this low holds right there, okay, or this low right here, that could be some kind of wave 1, a 3-wave, wave 2, as long as that low holds. And if this wants to go, then all of a sudden I'm looking at this as A, B, C to there. And then I'm looking at this as a bullish wave. Let's go. And we could get parabolic here with Ethereum if you want the moon boy count. So if Bitcoin starts chugging and starts moving, okay, Ethereum starts moving, we can start getting a parabolic wave here. And then all of a sudden we got something like that right there happening where we get parabolic to finish it. Now if that happens, that might finish Ethereum's move. And this becomes a 3-wave shape. And then all of a sudden you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, finish. And then we get a correction. I don't know. I don't think so. I'm having a hard time with this wave structure on the macro. I don't know how to read it. What's happening here? Obviously, this is 3 waves. So what's obvious here is that this is 3. That looks fairly obvious. Perspective changer, ending diag, what time frame? This could be 1, 2, and then we're in the middle of like a wave 4 here. We need a wave 5 to finish. See, the problem I'm having is what was this right here? What was that? What was that wave? It looks corrective. It doesn't look like an impulse wave. If it was some kind of diag, it can't work because wave 3 would be the shortest between wave 1 and 5, I think. Maybe not. Let me measure it. Yeah, wave 1 is bigger than wave 3. It can't be. That's not allowed. So I can't so what I've been looking at is this right here. This was ABC. This was 3-wave. That is a connecting wave. And this is 3 waves right there. So that's a WXY. Then you have 3, 3, 5. And then this is 3 right there. So that's a big WXY. And now this needs to come down. And that was 3, 3. And now we're getting 5. We're getting ready to have a big dump. So this is very bearish. So that's my best guess. The only thing I don't like is this took so much time, and this didn't take any time at all. But that's my best guess. So I'm calling this a WXY. WX. We came to the 1-to-1. Okay, so let me show you the count again, just so you understand it. So we got ABC, W. There's your X wave. And this is 3, Y. There's a WXY right there. Now you got an ABCB wave. Boom, right there. And now you have an ABC Y wave. A, B, C. And so what we have here is a large WXY. And this is bearish. This is coming down. And it's going to come down fast and hard. It doesn't have to this week. It could be next week. It could be whatever. Because we just started a new week. So this weekly candle, it's showing red all of a sudden. But what if it wicks back? You know, it's not going to look as bearish as it looks right now. The 3-day just started. So this is a very, very bearish look. But what if it wicks in the next day, price action, all of a sudden it's going to look differently, right? It's going to look different. It's going to look bullish. Maybe. But if this continues down, it's gonna reveal it's very bearish. Oh, perspective changer, I think that's too big. It can be an ending diag because it's not ending anything. The whole, I mean, you can call it a diag, but it would have to be a leading diag, not an ending diag. Does that make sense, man? Anyway, that if this is correct as a WXY, then we're looking at this as an A, B, and this is C, and C is coming down here. We're going to get that $400, $500 Ethereum target. Flash crash with Bitcoin down to 50K, and then a V-shaped recovery. And we're going to go to the moon. That's your moon. That's your moon count. That's your moon boy count right there. So what you got there is this is 1, 2, 3. Oh, sorry. Let me try that again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A, B, C. And then, so that's a big wave 1, wave 2, and then we're going to the moon. Make sense? So I am fairly bearish, and that's the way Ethereum lines up with my macro count on Bitcoin. So if Bitcoin wants to start coming down to the 50K range and we start falling here, I mean, it totally could, or it could take a little while to develop. Because I offered the concept of having a more complex wave. This could get more complex before it comes down. Or it could just start coming down, right? It could get real bearish. We've broken structure. That's bearish. But that doesn't mean jump in the chart, jump in the wave. It just means that, hey, you got to wait for an opportunity to do it. So back to summarize, again, I'm watching this. I want to see if we get this first. If we get that, that's going to set you up. If we get this, that sets you up. Okay? There's a couple of trade ideas right there. But if we get this and then that, and this keeps coming down, then I'm looking at this as 3 waves, right? Waiting for this to finish, looking for maybe another hit to the high at some point. But that's hard. That makes it harder to trade. So, all right, guys, what do you think? What do you think is going to happen, guys? What are you feeling? Are y'all bullish? Are you bearish? What's your idea for the wave structure? What are you thinking? Thanks, Perspective Changer, for sharing your thoughts. Appreciate that. 4-star Strength said, "Oh, I'm at this looking for the 2 of B to start." Okay. 2023 to 2025 is wave 1. Nick, what chart, Nick? BTC to 125, sell down to 88 for now, till the daily closes a higher high above 124. Okay. So you think it retraced back to 120, buddy? Yeah. I mean, that's an area of interest for sure. It's a very bearish candle. I want to see. We have 1 hour left on this 4 hour candle. I'm really interested to see how this candle is going to close. That'd be a good area, buddy. I think my area was about one. I was looking for about 117. That's from a fib perspective. All right, let's take a peek at the DXY, guys. Let's look at DXY, see what DXY is doing. Yeah, so interesting. Is DXY going to keep dropping? Or you see that wave right there? We got a very similar shape here. That might be 3 and it's done. Could we get another? Chemo, is it possible that we get another blow off top of the DXY? What would that do to the markets? We know that would dump the markets, right? But why would the dollar pump? What reason would there be for the dollar to pump like that? Can you think of? I know you're looking bearish at that, but what if that's just a 3-wave move, much like this one right here, and we actually pump from here? What would be the reason for that? How would that pump like that? Can you? Because you understand the debt cycle and the dollar a little bit better than I do. Chemo, what would be the reasoning if that happened? Because I can see that potentially playing out from a wave structure standpoint. Chemo, it closed a lower low right here as well, and then it shot up. So we know that that's not the end all and be all of analysis, right? So it closed a lower low right there, and then it went up, pulled back and went up. Pulled back, closed a lower low right there. Okay, so we know the market can do that. So I'm just asking, what would be the thinking? I could totally see this thing pulling back and continuing down. I could see that as well. So I can see that. But I'm just asking, what would be market conditions if that happened right there? Let's take it while you're answering or thinking about it. Okay, interesting. Let's check out the S&P 500 and see what that's doing right now. Oh, she's just blowing off that top, isn't she? NASDAQ not showing sign. Nothing's showing signs of stopping yet, guys. We haven't had a pullback. We haven't had a break of structure yet. My best wave count is it is what it is, but it hasn't finished yet. So NASDAQ and S&P still could have some power left into it, but it seems like it's making a topping formation. But you could see blow off tops here. You could see parabolic rises before the dump. But it seems like, guys, we're coming very, very close to the end. We're nearing the end here. But you could gain some speed here and power, and the NDX you could see it hit shoot, it could go up to 30K if it wants to. I mean, with a blow off move and then a sell off. But if you get a blow off move, you're gonna get a sell off afterwards, right? So let me take a peek at Tesla. I've been very, very interested in Tesla. Tesla's moving in a way that I was not expecting, as far as, see, I see this as 3 waves right there, right? This was 3. This looked like 3, but now that no longer looks like 3 anymore. It's changing. I was expecting this to come down, take that low, and then I'd have a finished wave structure. I was looking for about 120 to 100K, retested that low, and then a pop, but didn't get that wave structure. That doesn't mean it can't come. In fact, what could happen here is this could become some kind of a double correction. It's come down and then go up, double correction, and then down. I don't know if that's going to play or not either, but Tesla, is changing the way I'm looking at it. Look at gold and silver. Silver's up to $43. That is so lovely. I'm a big believer in silver, guys. And then, look at gold making more highs. Yeah, so we're gonna continue to see the rise of gold and silver. And so silver's about to take off here, guys. It's about to start over the next couple of years. It's gonna hit $60, easy, pretty easy. Probably even higher than that. I don't know how long it's going to take to get up there, but the silver should continue rising, I would imagine. Parabolically, gold is also. I mean, you're going to get pullbacks, but man, gold is just taking off. And as the current monetary system resets, you're going to see that rise of gold and silver continue to just blow off those tops. So there will be pullbacks, but I don't know. Now, the interesting thing is when are we due for a pullback? Are we going to get a couple of? How high is it going to go before we get a couple of years of correction of gold before it goes up again? Right, before we get something like this. Okay, because this was a 2 or 3 year correction. We need something like that, before it can. I mean, it would be nice to get some kind of little small jog in the road for a year or so in gold, so it can parabolically go up again. But again, who knows how the end is going to be. We are in crazy, crazy times where just the financial system is changing. We're changing over completely. But is digital going to go up? Straight up, or are we going to have a little bit of a flash crash first and then go up? That's kind of what I think. I'm kind of a believer in we're going to go hit 50K. I kind of think we need to go down and hit 50K. Whether it goes down there or not, it's another story. I don't know if that's going to happen or not, but I see the potential for it for sure. Really do. So, All right, guys. Well, there it is. I've spent an hour giving you the analysis, looking at the charts. Let me look at a couple of your altcoins, guys, and just take a peek at the charts you want me to look at. So put them in the chat now, and I'll see what can happen. I wish I was more knowledgeable, Chemo, to be able to discuss with you the dollar and the way it moves with the bond market and whatnot. But that's just my weakness there. I need to do a little bit more. Have a little bit more understanding of that. All right, let's look at Link, then we'll look at Soul and whatever else you guys want to look at. I mean, this looks pretty bearish here, guys. Couple of ways this can play out. But this is Link. This looks like it wants to come up. Boom. We could do that, and then down again. If this wants to just continue coming down, it could come down. But this is looking bearish. There's two ways I can see it playing. You could have some kind of a flat and then down. Or this could just kind of come down and finish and then maybe go up. But this looks like it needs to go down some more. Does it have to? No, it didn't have to. But right now we're at this do or die. No, we already broke the bottom, didn't we? Did Link break? Link did not break. So this did not break that low yet. We got a clear three-wave shape right there. So is that A, B, C, and now we're ready to go back up. It did not break the low. So that's a bullish, that's Moon Boy. Or you could get this move, A, B, C, and then down. This could roll over, come down, then come back up for like a flat, and then come down. Either way, this wave could be coming in various forms. But I don't think that signals bullishness necessarily. If you get a wave like this, that's going to look like A, B, and C, and then look for down. So something like that maybe. But, I mean, I could totally see this just pulling back a little bit and then continuing down, and it just, offer a different shape on the chart. See that wave right there? Come on. See that wave right there? I mean, something like that could play. This could just continue and just bust on down. See how deep that first wave was? And then you got a pullback. It was a flat. So could this make a flat like 3, 3, 5? And then a flat. You see, you see that right there? I mean, you could get another version of it. It's just hard to say what this on the macro is. This is so ugly. What if this just starts coming down? See that move? All of a sudden you got three waves. Tough chart, guys, but this would be along with a bearish Bitcoin. Down to 50K, then a V-shaped recovery. Boom, let's go. Oh, man, there's so many things that can happen here. I'm just so... Hey, Mr. Singh. I'm glad you've been learning Elliott wave. I hope that there are lots of different wave shapes that could happen. We're just trying to figure out what could happen. So just be careful. Don't take any trade blindly. Just study your Elliott wave and study the different ideas and see what plays out. Yeah, I'll look at SUI for you. SUI. Yeah, absolutely. So let's look at Seoul. See, this is interesting. See that move there? This looks like 3 waves that took the top, and this looks like 5. So, in other words, you got this little candy cane with a spike. That's a normal 5. So that could be finished. Or this could pull back and continue deep. This could get deeper, and this be a deeper 3-wave move. That would look better to me if it came deeper and then followed by some more upside. But so we get a deeper pullback here. But that doesn't necessarily have to come. But that could be what's in play. I'm not a huge fan of this as a flat, but of course that could play as well, and this could follow. And then you got that flat, so that's something that Bitcoin could do. That's something SOL could do, right? I'm not a big fan of that because this looks more like 3 waves. So I'd be more inclined to see this pull back and finish and then go back to the upside quicker. So either way, I think a rebound to the upside's coming. Is just going to roll like we got a breakout here. See that trend line there? We broke out. Are we going to retest it and continue down? I think that's likely. So we could get a retest of it tonight and then come down. Or this could get up and go. It could look like 3 waves and just get up and go quicker and just look like it's getting ready to go down but then come back up. This is I can see so many different fake outs that could play. So but what's the macro? What are we looking at the macro here? So I look at SOL and here's what I see. SOL, I see 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I see 5 waves. I see impulse. I see this as 3 waves. Is it finished? Do we have another move to the upside? And that's something that could play. This could be about finished. This 3-day candle. You could see this turn green and we go up and make another high on the 3-day for the next several days. And it finishes a 3-wave move. And then we come down. And then you got 3 waves. Then we're ready to go. Or more bullish. This is a more bullish count I'm about to share. What if this is a flat right here? A, B, C. And that's it. That's all you get. Now this is just going. SOL is just going. Or we get that move back to the upside again, and then this comes down in 3 waves. And then that's 3, 3, 3. Or we could get 5. Either way. Know this, that tonight and tomorrow they're going to be playing with wave structure. There's no doubt about it. So there's some ideas for SOL. I don't have the answers there. I'm kind of more inclined to this being more bearish, lower, before up. Something like that. You see that wave right there? Maybe something like that here. And then up. But man, I really, really want to see on Bitcoin's 15-minute chart. What's going to happen here? I'm really watching to see if we get something like this, or if it starts moving that direction. That'd be a nice move. Those are some SOL ideas for you, though. But when I look at this wave structure, this looks like a flat to me. 3 down, 3 up, 5 down. And so this could be very bullish. We get the bullish way to look. You get some kind of pullback and continue. This could be done. You get another move up. That looks bullish, which could be part of a second wave, then down. Or this could just get up and go, right? We could get up and get more bullish. It all depends on the macro, what Bitcoin's doing, right? All right, let's look at SUI. Wow. Okay, so in one sense, I can look at this very bullishly, and I can also look at it very bearishly. Man, that's interesting how they do that. So the bearish look is this was 3. Whoops, sorry. Let's try that again. This was 3 waves. Now, this is the 3-day chart. That's 3 waves. So this is beginning to work its way down. Now, this could be a secondary wave. You get another 3 waves and then down. So this could take a lot more time, years, or it could start picking up speed and go straight down. Then all of a sudden you got A, B, C. Revisit the origin of price, which is what crypto often does. It goes up straight and then it kind of revisits in 3 waves back down. Just like this one did. Just like this one did. And just comes back down. That's kind of what I think SUI is probably doing. Probably something more like that. This is getting ready to break structure to the downside. I think the crypto market is bearish, and it's getting ready to provide a move to the downside that nobody's expecting. But that'll set up for the macro long haul bullishness of crypto. Maybe. I mean, that's a maybe. That's a maybe. You just got to remember, what's going to stay around is what has viability, use in the future. Okay. Jay wants OP, USDT. Let's take a peek at that. You down with OP, USD? Yeah, you know me. I'm down with OP, USD. Let me get some likes for that one. Did Jim just rap? OPUSD? That was a pretty good one, wasn't it, buddy? This chart looks horrible, man. This OPUSD. What is this? But it looks like a leading diag. So if you want to look at this bullishly, you've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Looks like the Bitcoin chart. Then you got A, B, and C. DJ Jazzy Jim in the house. Yeah, is this ready to start? Going up. Here we go. Boom. We're gonna get a pump up and up. We're gonna pump up the jams out of here. I don't know. I mean, maybe this could come back down here first, revisit this low, and then go, or this takes this low out. That often happens too. You think this low is going to hold, it doesn't hold, and then all of a sudden you got something else. It's an I don't know burger here. There's the low, 37 cents. Is that going to get taken out? Let me look at it on the daily chart, see what's going on. I see this as possible. This is possible. It's a nice little fake out. Boom. And keep in mind, one of my Bitcoin ideas is that, hey, this is 3 waves, A, B, and C, and it's finished right there. It's just a fake break. And then we're going to go. It could go off, or it could just go hit the high and then come back down. So be ready for that move too. That's a possibility. That would screw up a bunch of people. We do have hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour, guys. Major hidden bull on the 4-hour. So I don't want to be too bearish here, but there is major hidden bullish divergence on the 4-hour chart. Again, we got 30 minutes left for this 4-hour candle. I wonder how it's going to close. All right, did I hit all the charts that you guys wanted me to look at? I saw Hugo. Hey, buddy, there you go. You're in there. You want to look at VET, Mr. Calories? I'll be glad to take a peek at it if you like. Oh, that's a horrible chart, man. They're just messing with us now. I mean, look what they're doing here. Got that break right there. If you look at that trend line, it's kind of holding. Is this gonna hold? And then go back up. They're threatening, ain't they, guys? They are threatening for show. Faux show. Hey, yeah, Nick, let's look at BNB. Let's do it. Oh, man, I kind of like that move, Mr. Hugo. Then that move. I don't know, though. Could this keep coming down? Maybe. I kind of like this one, too. Boom, boom, boom. So this could come down deeper, then come take out the liquidity, and then come down, take out this liquidity, and then go up. Then all of a sudden you get this big 3-wave trash. Either way, I see this liquidity being grabbed at some point. That's just nasty. Nasty. Okay, looking at BNB. BNB USDT. Holy moly. Look at that thing go. $1,000. Holy. What's interesting about this chart, the BNB chart, guys, this looks just like XRP. This move up, this looks like XRP. That's an interesting thing. Let me show you XRP for a moment. Zoom out to the daily chart for a moment. Let me put them side by side. I'll put BNB on this side. Okay, BNB on the right. Oh man, get the VWAP off there. There we go. Let's look on the daily. No, let's look at the weekly. There it is. For some reason, I'm in log scale on the right. Let's get a regular. There we go. There we go. Okay. So take a peek at that chart right there, okay? Now, see that move there? That move. 3 waves, boom. Playing around, boom. Playing around. Boom. Okay. What ended up happening? This kind of went up. So we need this to go up. Pull back up. So isn't that an interesting correlation? I look at too many charts. I shouldn't have known that, but it does. It looks just like XRP. Is XRP going? Getting ready to fly? Could be. Is crypto getting ready to fly and this is just a fake out? Maybe. So this move right here correlates with this move here. I'm just looking to see. That's pretty nasty. No problem, Mr. Hugo. Mr. Calories. All right, guys, that's an interesting correlation. I wonder if XRP is getting ready to fly. That would be nice. That would be fun, wouldn't it? That'd be exciting. Yeah. Okay, guys, there's the analysis. It's up or down. So let's watch BTC. Is this 3 waves right there? Is that finished and this is getting ready to go? Or is this going to roll over and continue down a little bit deeper? Ready for something more like that later? I don't know. I don't know the answers. The Fed did cut rates. It's already baked in the charts, probably. They dumped it. We're getting ready for a Monday pump. We dumping Sunday for a Monday pump? Maybe. Let's see what happens. Guys, let's see. Parminder Singh says, what are your thoughts on Render? I can look at Render. I don't know. Lil Buddha says we're going to pump tomorrow. Okay. Good. I mean, certainly this has a WXY look. That could be finished. This might be getting ready. This might be getting ready to rock, right? That's the weekly chart. This looks like 3 waves, right? Or this looks like 3 waves, and this is getting ready to come down again here before up. So either this was 3 and it's done and we're heading up. I mean, this could come down here and then go up. There's so many things that could happen. It's impossible. It's just the chart is in that area where I mean, so right here it's are we gonna get a pump up? Are we gonna get a move up and out of here? Maybe. So maybe if this comes down here, we're gonna move this trend line to there, and we're bearish until that breaks out of that. So I think that's kind of the way you got to be, because these wave structures aren't clear, right? So I think as far as render is concerned, you until this breaks clearly out. But even a break clearly out doesn't mean it's fully bullish. It just gives you a little bit more bias. But this was a break. Okay, we got to pull back. Is this gonna break back? Is this gonna come back down? So I could see this move right here, boom, and that's 3 waves, and then they could go. I could see it come down here, and then go. And then it could come back down, right? So, because that's 3, they could bring up, and all of a sudden you got 3, and they could bring it down further, right? So there's just so many things that can happen here. This isn't clear. So when it's not clear, you can stay away from it or look for good areas to trade. But at the end of the day, this does kind of look like she's rounding up, okay? But it's not clear yet. But this could start pumping up and continuing. And so this is an area to think about taking a long for sure. But you got to have a stop. You got to know where you're going to close, It just depends on how you're trading it, whether it's leverage or whether it's whether it's spot. The 4-hour chart, we're right in the middle of no man's land. I mean, it could go down, it could go up on the 4-hour. This could come down here, and then get ready for a long. That would be a good place to think about a long, to maybe go up. Or this could engulf and get rocking. And I'm not inclined to that necessarily. Looking at this 4 hours, this isn't pretty right here. This isn't a pretty chart. Got 22 minutes left on this candle. Let's see how this candle closes, but it looks pretty bearish right now. Of course, we could get an engulfer to make a move like this and then come back down. And that's kind of what I'm watching for on Bitcoin, to see if we get that move. We didn't have to get that move, but we could. I want to see if we're going to get something like that. So, all right. Nick says ETH is lagging BNB by about 2 months. Okay. They don't have the same similar chart, though, Nick. I don't see the same correlation you might be seeing there. But I do see that correlation between Bitcoin and XRP, which I find interesting. So is this ready to rock? I don't know. Does it have more down to go? Maybe. Could this come down and take that low out? Maybe. Let's see what happens. Guys, I hope you all have a fantastic evening. Thanks for joining me on my live stream tonight. Appreciate it. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Do all that stuff. Show your love. And hope you all have a good night. It's been good to be with you. Good to see you, Seth. Hope you're doing well. Chemo, good to have you, bud. Go check out Chemo Sabi's channel. I'm going to go watch his DXY video, see if I can learn something. All right, guys. Take it easy. Bye-bye.